Buenos días y buen bonitos de todos. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Welcome to a community that's dedicated in providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shear, and I am the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us for the live Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and the password or check our website, www.cslpv.org on the weekly talk section. And welcome to the month of June. Happy Pride. Today is Sunday, June 1st, 2025. And we are continuing our annual theme, Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. And our new monthly theme for this month is In Living Color, which is also the topic for this week. The suggested book for reading this month is The Color Purple by Alice Walker. So at this time, I'd like to once again welcome everyone, including those that are new to our teaching or to our center here in Puerto Vallarta, whether you are on the live Zoom call or watching the replay at a later time. Here we teach a philosophy that honors all faith traditions. So whatever path you are on, know that it is the right one for you. And everyone is welcome here. We value each and every one of you. As I mentioned, we teach a philosophy called the Science of Mind. And it's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom, where we offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. And we honor diversity in all aspects so that we can see and appreciate the great oneness that already exists everywhere and within everyone. When Dr. Ernest Holmes founded this teaching in the 1920s, he had been studying both Eastern and Western spiritual texts in order to create the science of mind, which focuses on the individual use of thoughts and this powerful thing called the mind. When asked to provide a concise definition of the teaching, he replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. So each week we offer a service with an inspirational message. We offer a Zoom meeting at 10 a.m. And please note that the in-person meetings will now be done by request only during the summer months, and we will resume again in person in the fall. So if you are planning on coming here during the summer and would like to meet in person, then please let me know ahead of time so we can make plans for that. And whether you are on the Zoom call or in person, we invite you to hang out afterwards to enjoy some coffee and great conversation with like-minded people. And as part of my intention to grow this center, we are now inviting guest speakers for the second Sunday of each month to provide the message in Spanish with English translation. And now, as we do each week, let's together review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose here each week, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this by means of our vision, creating the life you desire. And this is supported by our mission to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And more on all of these can be found on their own separate drop-down page on our website. So check that out if you would like to know more about that. And This month, I have decided to bring back the Spiritual Mind treatment from the Creative Thought magazine. And this is the last year of uh, these magazines. And so this is June 2014. And so if you would like to gently close your eyes, if you so wish, and take these words as your own. God is, I am. I am the self-contemplation of the self-realization of God, the ever-changing, everlasting rhythmic life expression made manifest. The personal in my life gives way to the great impersonal, and I know my true identity. I have no sense of guilt or condemnation because there is only love, understanding, harmony, and peace. I have no conflict within because the eternal, inexhaustible life, which I am, rules, and it knows nothing except its own perfection. My body is the body of God and cannot know fatigue. My mind is the mind of God and cannot know confusion. I am vitally and enthusiastically alive, and I claim my inheritance, the richness and abundance of all life, love, and intelligence. The scope of my success is unlimited. I achieve what I conceive because I am already that which I desire. I am awake to the true, the loving, and the beautiful, and my life this instant, without beginning and without ending, completely expresses the joyous activity of God. And so it is. And this was submitted in 1958 by Alberta G. Clark. And so, if you have ever watched RuPaul's Drag Race, you'll understand this reference. And the category is unity. In celebration of LGBTQ plus Pride Month, we embrace the spiritual truth that we are all divine expressions of God. Ernest Holmes said this: "It should be considered right to live and to enjoy living, to be well, happy, and to express freedom is to be in accord with law and wisdom." So yes, in most of North America, June is Pride Month. We had our Pride celebration here the end of May in Puerto Vallarta. But when the world's LGBTQ plus communities come to celebrate together the freedom to live, love, and express themselves authentically, this is the time. The month of June was chosen to honor the Stonewall Uprising in June of 1969 in New York City. It was a pivotal moment that helped spark the modern gay rights movement. In 2025, Pride carries the powerful theme, "Queer joy is resistance," reminding us that in a world where simply being oneself can be an act of defiance, joy becomes a radiant form of protest, a bold affirmation of dignity, resilience, and the right to live in full color. Marginalized people worldwide have shown us what it means to live in color, persevering despite the challenges they face simply for being who they are. Being born with a different skin color, hair texture, gender expression, or sexual orientation can often come with expressions of oppression. This month, we are invited to cast away the consciousness of exclusion and celebrate instead unity, diversity, and unique expression. In honor of Pride Month, being celebrated across the globe, we are encouraged to show up in living color. In the 1990s, a popular sketch comedy TV series called In Living Color featured a diverse cast of characters that offered vibrant commentary on the American culture. And like many shows from that time, past moments in the series may cause us to cringe today. Yet the show's comedic brilliance has stood the test of time. Throughout this month, we will draw inspiration from some of the classic pop culture moments from this iconic series. And as we celebrate life in living color, we are invited to recognize that happiness is our birthright. What better way to show our happiness and pride than with color? LGBTQ plus people have served as an example of the beauty of expression, despite facing persecution, violence, and even prison, simply for being who they are. Still, they persisted, creating secret places to meet, form community, and love one another openly. The consequences of being who we are have not stopped them from being unapologetically fabulous. This community is associated with color, fun, dance, music, and celebration. And I know from experience about the uh, potential of persecution and violence when I visited Cuba to spend some time with friends in Veradero, as well as spending a wonderful, fun-filled weekend in Havana with my family of choice. None of them spoke English, except for one friend of the family who became my interpreter as well as my guide and my long time friend now. So while I was there, I had a few places I wanted to visit in Havana. And so my friend and one of the other family members joined me as we traveled to downtown by various means. And it was interesting to say the least. We had a ton of fun. We even had an opportunity to stand along the Malecon in downtown Havana. But all of a sudden, my friends scattered and then they returned, explaining that the police had walked by and would have arrested them, assuming that they were propositioning a tourist for money. And once it was determined that they were also gay, they would have been thrown in jail just for that purpose. And so they have learned where to go, when to go, how to be seen in public, and where to meet together with their friends in their community. And for me, I was happy to know that they knew how to avoid this, but it was also sad knowing that they had to. Ernest Holmes said this: if you would catch the vision of joy, which would be yours, you must dry your tears. You must lay aside your fears. You must think from the inspirational center within you, which is nothing less than the divine in you singing its song of life. So yes, we played, we sang, we had fun. So in the TV series In Living Color, was a series that celebrated the joy of diversity, laughter, music, and creative expression. And some of the comedy sketches were a bit controversial and edgy for its time, but could also be considered problematic today. However, this show blazed the trails for better representation and diversity in the entertainment world, and its impact can still be seen today. The Wayans family, Jim Carrey, David Allen Greer are some of the actors from the show who are still involved in notable projects and making an impact on the world today. And despite the challenges and hardships experienced from oppression, marginalized people lean into a culture of joy. In celebration of living in color this week, it's a great time to embrace the joy that resides within all of us. No matter the circumstances, there's always a reason to be joyful. As Dr. Ernest Holmes says, we have a right to enjoy living. We have the power to live each day as if it's the best day ever. It's simply a matter of choice. And if you are coming to vacation here in Puerto Vallarta, check out the nightlife in Old Town, often called the Romantic Zone, and catch a show or two of the many talented drag performers. And you're guaranteed to have an enjoyable time. This is a quote from Lady Gaga. Do not allow people to dim your shine because they are blinded. Tell them to put on some sunglasses because we were born this way. So you must have heard of the song Over the Rainbow. Well, the rainbow pride flag was inspired by this song, with each color representing the qualities of sex, life, healing, sunlight, nature, magic, art, serenity, and spirit. In 2018, the flag evolved to include more colors to represent people of the global majority in their contributions to the movement. People who died from HIV, AIDS, transgender people, gender non-binary people, intersex people, and even those that don't identify with any gender. The flag of many colors is a true representation and celebration of diversity. The vibrant symbolisms of color and their deeper meanings leads us to the timeless connection between the Wizard of Oz and the LGBTQ community. The Wizard of Oz is an iconic film in which this community has found inspiration and connection. Judy Garland was revered in the LGBTQ community. A friend of Dorothy is a famous phrase the queer community has used to identify one another and ensure their safety in environments where they weren't free to express themselves. So as we celebrate in living color this week is the perfect opportunity to connect the relationship to colors and the LGBTQ plus pride. Ernest Holmes said this: we shall find that for the first time in life, we really care, but the sting will have gone. Refuse to have the feelings hurt. Refuse yourself the pleasure and morbidity of sensitiveness. Come out of the emotional intoxication and be yourself. And now I'd like to just give you a little background on the history of Pride. The origins of Pride and the LGBTQ plus rights movement are deeply rooted in Stonewall riots of 1969, where several Black and brown transgender individuals played pivotal roles in the fight for equality. These riots were a series of spontaneous protests by members of the gay community against a police raid that took place in the early morning hours of June 28th, 1969, at the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in Greenwich Village neighborhood of New York City. The Stonewall Inn served as a sanctuary for many of the LGBTQ community, offering a place for self-expression in an era of widespread discrimination. Police raids on gay bars were common during the 60s, but the raid on the Stonewall Inn sparked an unprecedented resistance. Patrons and community members fought back against the police, leading to several days of protests and more clashes. This marked a significant turning point in the LGBTQ rights movement, galvanizing the community and leading to a formation of various advocacy groups. And in the years following the Stonewall riots, activists began organizing annual marches to commemorate the event and to continue the fight for equal rights. The first of these marches took place on June 28, 1970, known as the march took place on Christopher Street Liberation Day, named after the street where the Stonewall Inn is located. These marches evolved into what we now know as Pride Parades, held in cities worldwide each June. Pride events celebrate the progress made in LGBTQ plus rights, honor the history of the movement, and advocate for ongoing equality and acceptance. And now in living Technicolor. Most of us reside in cultures where LGBTQ people's voices have been erased from history and continue to be silenced. Living in color is often supported by learning more about the people who paved the way for the Pride celebrations occurring all around the world. Finding inspiration from people in the past can inspire and empower us to take action here in the present, in the now. For instance, many of us may not know that the original drag queen was a formerly enslaved man named William Dorsey Swan. The term queen was inspired by the Queens of Freedom, crowned on Emancipation Day celebrations, first held in 1866. The word drag came from the word grand rag. Swan did not allow a history of enslavement and police raids on the Grand Rags in Washington, D.C. to hamper the celebrations. The Evening Star reported police targeted men in female attire of many colors. Swan and his friends continued to party, and the police kept shutting them down. As we can see from Pride celebrations around the world, oppression has never been able to stop LGBTQ people from being themselves. Brene Brown says this: owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we'll ever do. So yes, this month of June is Pride Month. Pride is all about celebrating our spiritual magnificence. Think of ways that you can engage in celebrating Pride in your community. March in your Pride Parade as a community. It's a great way to show your support. And I'll leave you with this quote from Dr. Seuss. He said, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." And this brings us to our affirmation for the week. I fully embrace the spectrum of my human experience. And now for news and updates at our center. If you are interested in learning more about the Science of Mind teaching, we offer courses via Zoom as well as in person. So connect with me or check our website to find out the details. And we have postponed the book study, The Four Agreements. And soon we will have another book study starting on the 7 spiritual laws of success. So watch for information on that. And also let me know if there's a specific course, such as meditation or another book study that you would be interested in taking, so we can plan dates for those as well. Accredited courses will resume in September. And if you would like to have a one-on-one connection for a spiritual mind treatment, please connect with me so we can arrange for that. If you would like to become a member of the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta for this current year, as membership does renew annually, or if you would like to be on our board of trustees, then please contact me so you can be sent the current forms for those. I'd also like to remind you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. When you like our YouTube page, it brings up our postings more frequent so that more people can find it as well. So please assist me in getting us out there. And so now it is our time for mindful giving and financial support of our spiritual home. We rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. And we bless the financial gifts that you give today. Every donation is greatly appreciated. Donations can be made using either PayPal or Tidely through our website, www.cslpv.org. And you'll find the donate buttons on both the landing page as well as the top of the page where you find the weekly talks. Alternatively, you can still send in a paper check by addressing it to CSLPV number 403 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, B1Y8N1. And now please join me in our offertory affirmation. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for coming and sharing your time with us. And let's remember to continue practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. Peaceful living includes acting with compassion, kindness, and consideration. And it also includes standing up against injustice. So may peace and love be with you. Blessings to all.